In this video, we're going to review and install the PROBRITE integrated LED bronze water resistant canopy light. This was provided to me by the Home Depot seed program, so I got it for free. The only obligation is that I write a review for them on their website, which I did. I'm under no obligation to provide a favorable review in exchange for the product. During unboxing, I noticed that the product branding was absent. Nothing on the box, nothing on the manual. And I thought, well, gee, this is probably a really cheap, inferior product. The box included the actual light fixture itself, the manual, and a little toolkit which contained wire nuts, Allen wrench, and mounting screws. The light itself is rated at 4,000 Kelvin, which is considered a soft white. So it's between your bright white and your sort of warm light. Rated at 900 lumen, which is about 75 watt bulb. It uses 12 watts, has a predicted lifetime of 50,000 hours. Like I said, the light fixture itself is just one piece. Trim, base, and lens are all encapsulated together. Looking at the back side, we see that the bracket is integrated into the base and it's held in place by one screw. There's also this built-in hanging cable, which makes installation a lot easier. You simply take the mounting cable, attach it to the bracket, and then the fixture just hangs, thus freeing your hands to do all the wiring. The unit measures 8 inches across, 1 3/4 inches deep, is UL rated for wet conditions. In the manual, they mentioned caulking with silicone around the base to enhance that, which I thought was rather peculiar, especially since the base already has a gasket on it. So perhaps you don't need to do that. And finally, the lead and common wire are tinned for you, which is really nice because normally your strand wire would be like this, kind of loose, then you'd have to go and twist it. Sometimes you end up sticking yourself with one of the ends of the wire. So you want this so it's nice and straight, so that when you go to connect this to the wire coming out of the outlet box, the conduit box, then you can do this to it. Now, some people will recommend that you get a pair of Lyman pliers and you twist them together, and as you see, that really doesn't seem to hold it well, just the strands come apart. But if you put them side by side, you can get your wire nut on there, and it should make a good connection, right? It doesn't pull out. So this is much easier. You see how the strand comes apart? Now, if the wires are tinned together, and I don't have any right now, so let's pretend that's tinned together, because this is the way it's going to behave. It behaves as a solid core piece of wire. And you put your wire cap on it, and it doesn't matter, as long as they're side by side. It's quick and it's easy. And again, pull on this, make sure it doesn't come loose on you, and you're set. So that's the advantage of having it tinned. It just makes getting the wire nut on it really easy. Now, while I don't have a wet or damp location, I do have a garage that has 2 old-fashioned porcelain type fixtures with these par lamps attached to them. So the lighting is very uneven. It's just pretty much coming straight down and that's it. So the room tends to be dark. The new fixture should provide more even lighting. Plus, because the lens is sealed, I won't get bugs and dirt behind it. Tools you may need: diagonal wire cutters, electrical tape, a screwdriver. Doesn't have to be as fancy as this one, but either flat blade or Phillips tip, or maybe both, depending on the application. Long nose pliers, wire cutters, either a probe or a meter, so that you can test to make sure that there is no power at the receptacle. And of course, a ladder so that you can safely work near the receptacle. Optionally, you could use work gloves of one form or another. This time I'm not. For your safety, make sure to turn off the power switch and the circuit. We got an old porcelain fixture. Screws on each side need to be removed. That'll drop down. That'll expose the wires. Then we'll disconnect. Last screw removed. And it should just drop out, right? But I bet the reason it's not doing that is because there was some insulation that was shot into the box from the attic. Anyway, all we're going to have to do is disconnect these two wires. Now the reason you want to test this circuit is, even though the power switch is off, maybe you've thrown the circuit breaker like I said earlier. This one, because it's in a garage, there's power also going to the garage door opener and a light, which could indicate that there is still power bypassing this fixture. So you just want to make sure that none of this stuff is hot when you're working with it. And by using some kind of a tool like this one, you can check. If everything's green, then you're good to go. Now, let's see. So there is hot up in there, but the two wires that we're playing with, which is our load and our neutral, there's nothing on here. And so we should be good to go. In our situation, there were screws, so we could have undone those, but instead I just cut the wires off because I need a nice straight piece of wire, and so I didn't need the loop. And this will make it easier. I'll just simply strip some insulation off these wires and then use the wire nuts to attach it to the leads from the fixture. Now looking at the box here, there's a screw hole that you're going to use to put the attachment bracket, and there should be another one right there. So our attachment bracket is going to go across and screw into that and that. So here's the bracket, and this is where the two mounting screws are going to get attached to this opening in here. Your wires run through the center hole. Now right now it's attached to the back plate of the base, and the way we're going to remove it is by partially unscrewing the single Allen screw with the included Allen key. So you insert that in there and you turn lefty loosey. Now you don't need to remove it, you just need to pull enough out so that this bracket comes loose. That's plenty. Always make sure that you protect the lens with some plastic so it doesn't get scratched up while you're doing this. Now our bracket is loose and it comes off. So it's only held in place by tension underneath here, because this is sloped, and this has an incline on it, so they match nicely. And then over here, that screw just holds that in place, and that's all you need. So installation should be fairly easy. This piece of wire here will actually attach to the bracket once you mount this in the ceiling, so that you can hang the fixture and then do your wiring. How nice is that? This is how the bracket and the wire with the ball work. So now that's on the ceiling, and your fixture is just hanging there waiting for you to finish doing the wiring. With the ends of the bracket pointing down, we attach a screw into the box, and then we're going to do likewise over here. With the bracket secured, that's what's going to take the weight. We can either run these wires through the center and meet up the ones from the fixture itself, or you can just go over each side, hook up, or take your leads from the fixture, go up the center, then come back out and meet this. However you want to do it. So now for the easy mount portion. We take our little wire that has the ball on it. And, oops. There you go. So the ball is there on this little hook, and our fixture is just going to hang here and wait for us to do our connections. Normally we go black to black, white to white. In this case, we have a red going to black and a white going to white. I actually tested that to make sure that this neutral had no power on it, and there was no power on it, and this did have power on it. So normally, like I said, black to black, white to white. In this case, it's red because they took the black to feed over here, and so this is also a load for us. Anyway, just check to make sure that, you know, some do-it-yourself kind of guy didn't screw it up. Better safe than sorry. So now we'll hook up with a wire nut the white to white. Just a quick tip. The white, I ran it behind the bracket so I can keep all my wires bundled as much as I can on one side, especially the white and the black. And because the bracket's going to go right over this. With all our wires in place, we tuck them into the conduit box, and now we're ready to attach the fixture to the bracket. And remember, it's just one screw that's going to hold it in place, with the Allen key, of course. So to get the fixture in place, you put it onto the bracket, and then you go up. Then you get your Allen key here, and you tighten down. The trick with the Allen key is not to keep on tightening until you can't turn anymore, because you're just going to bend that bracket. You want to tighten this enough until it doesn't move anymore and it doesn't come off. And that's only just a few turns, because remember, we only did a few turns to take it off. So no sense in over tightening. You're just going to damage the bracket. Time to test the light. So there's our new fixture compared to our par light that's on the other one. You see there's more light hitting the ceiling, which means there's more light also reflecting down. Here's the lamp that we just replaced. It shines predominantly down. It's about 12 watts. It's an older LED. You can tell it has these huge metal fins on it to keep it cool. But this seems to be casting more light in more directions. The ceiling is lit better. It does a really nice job in this garage. And again, this is not for work. This is just to light up this room when we come in here looking for stuff. It's not dimmable, but for this application it's perfect because we don't dim in the garage. But just to note that if you want dimmable, this is not the product for you. 4000 K is the temperature, so it makes it a nice soft white, whereas before I had a yellowish glow coming off of those. The included hanging cable makes it easy. If you're looking for a non-dimmable light that's flush mounted, very easy to install, this will do the trick for you. I was so happy with the first fixture that I replaced the second one. And now the garage is much brighter than before. And I'm not using that much power to do it. Really happy with it. Love the fact that they're encapsulated so that when we get bugs in here, there's no way they can get behind the lens. Can't recommend this product enough. Hope you've enjoyed the video and that you've gotten something out of it. Please leave us a comment. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe. Please, please, please subscribe. And as always, thank you so ever so much for watching.